Good morning, dear children. Let's continue the third lesson. The third lesson is the gift of Magi. Let's start with the 28th paragraph. So, till now, what we have studied, we came to know that Della has brought a gift to Jim, and she was eager to show that gift, to present that gift to Jim. So, when Jim entered the flat, she said she wanted to show that gift to him. So, from that, when he looks at Della, she was not having her hair, she had cut off her hair, she was having short hair, and that too she had set up in curly. So, it was very strange for him. So, he was not able to talk with her. He was very surprised to see. It was unexpected. Let's see what happens. Jim darling, she cried, don't look at me that way. I had my hair cut off and sold because I couldn't have lived through Christmas without giving you a present. So Della was hesitant, and she had not expected that Jim will keep on staring at her like that. Actually, Jim is not angry here, but Della felt little nervous. She felt like Jim will get angry on her. So she is telling here not to look at her that way. And she was clearing the things. Why she has sold her hair and why she is having short hair. She has sold her hair to bring the Christmas present, children. So she told here that she has sold her hair to bring the present to Jim. It will grow out again, you won't mind, will you? I just had to do it. My hair grows awfully fast. Say Merry Christmas, Jim, and let's be happy. You don't know what a beautiful, nice gift I have got for you. You can see, children, how Della is trying her level best to convince Jim. She is giving a reason. She is mentioning, she is explaining why she has sold her hair. And she is also mentioning that what a nice gift and what a beautiful gift she has brought to Jim. And she is also convincing him that her hair will grow very fast. Here, cutting off her hair is not important, children. Important was to bring the gift. As she was not having enough money, she managed by solding her hair. She managed to get the money and she brought the gift. That's what she tells here. Let's be happy. Say Merry Christmas to Jim. You have cut off your hair? Asked Jim laboriously, as if he had not arrived at that patent fact yet, even after the hardest mental labor. Here Jim was little bit surprised and he wanted to grasp what has happened, and he asked to Della that you have cut off your hair. Means it was very quite surprise for him. He had not expected that Della would sell her hair, and it was unbelievable for him to accept the fact. It was not possible for him to accept it. So he was little bit silent. He wanted to grasp it. Means what is happening in front of his eyes. He was not able to believe it. That's what he, in a surprised manner, he said, you have cut off your hair. Cut it off and sold it, said Della. Don't you like me just as well? Anyhow, I am me without my hair, aren't I? She, again, we can see here how she is clarifying, how she is just justifying why she has sold off her hair, and she is convincing him, don't you like me just as well? Means she is expecting Jim that Jim would like her even after like her in a short hair, even after losing her hair also. So she is telling, I am without my hair. Am I not looking pretty? This is the question what she wanted to ask him. Cut it off and sold it, she told it. Jim looked about the room curiously. You say your hair is gone, he said, with an air almost of idiocy. He just, he was in a means he wanted to understand it. It was unbelievable. He wanted to ask many questions, and in a curious manner, he just had a look in the room. And again, he looked at Della and he said, "You say your hair is gone?" Just wanted to understand, wanted to know that why she has cut off her hair. Yes, there is something he is hiding here. What is that? Let's see. You need not look for it, said Della. It's sold. I tell you, sold. And gone too. It's Christmas Eve, boy. Be good to me, for it went for you. Maybe the hairs on my head were numbered, she went on with sudden serious sweetness, but nobody could ever count my love for you. Shall I put the chops on, Jim? You need not look for it, said Della. See, again Della is convincing Jim. Don't look at the hair, she is telling. It is just, I have sold it, it's gone. And she is convincing him, telling that it's a Christmas Eve, it's a festival eve. And she is expecting Jim that he should be good for her. He should behave properly. He should be in the same way how daily he used to behave. Maybe the hairs on my head were numbered. Means the hair will grow again. But it's a material thing, children. We cannot count the person's affection through the material things. So she is telling here, the material means the hair will come and go, and again it will grow, and now it is not there. But the affection what she is having towards him, it is uncountable. The hair is countable, children, means it is, she is telling it like that, it is numbered, but the affection what she is having towards, the care what she is having towards Jim is uncountable. And she is telling, shall I put the chops on, means shall I make the dinner table ready, like this she is asking. Out of his trance, Jim seemed quickly to wake. He unfolded his Della. For 10 seconds, let us regard with discreet scrutiny some inconsequential object in the other direction. $8 a week or $1 million a year, what is the difference? A mathematician or a wit would give you the wrong answer. The Magi brought valuable gifts, but that was not among them. This dark assertion will be illuminated later on. Here, Jim understood what is happening. Then he forgot all the things and he started to convince, he started to tell Della that let's, for 10 seconds, let's forget what is happening in front of our eyes and what is all the things. $8 a week or $1 million a year, millions, then what is the difference, he says, means let's not count the affection and care what we are having towards each other through the material things, he is also telling. Then not a magician or not a mathematician or anybody who is having more knowledge cannot give a correct answer. The valuable gifts which they have brought for each other will explain a lot, children. That's what Jim tells here. Jim drew a package from his overcoat pocket and threw it upon the table. So what gift he had brought, it was packed up in a box and he had kept it in a coat. Then he removed that box and he kept it on the table. Don't make any mistake, Dell, he said, about me. I don't think there is anything in the way of a haircut or a shave or a shampoo that could make me like my girl any less. But if you will unwrap that package, you may see why you had me going a while at first. Then Jim started to explain why he was staring at Della. He said that, don't mistake me, that I'm going to get angry on you. Just uh, the haircut or any kind of material or any kind of product, if you're using, I'm not uh, getting angry on you. Means it does not make my girl to look pretty, he says. If she is having haircut, it does not matter that she is going to lose her beauty. She is always beautiful for him. And he asks Della to unwrap the package which was kept on the table. And after unwrapping the package, she will come to know that why he was staring at her. He was staring at her not because she had lost her hair. It was another reason, children. So he asks Della. White fingers and nimble tore at the string and paper, and then an ecstasy stream of joy, and then, alas, a quick feminine change to hysterical tears and wails, necessitating the immediate employment of all the comforting powers of the lord of the flat. So, eagerly, Della unwrapped the package. She removed the string, she removed the paper. There was a scream of joy. She was happy to see there were the tears in her eyes, and just the atmosphere was very joyful for her. For there lay the combs, the set of combs, side and back, that Della had worshipped for long in a Broadway window. Beautiful combs, pure tortoise shell with jeweled rims, just the shade to wear in the beautiful vanished hair. They were expensive combs, she knew, and her heart had simply craved and earned over them without the least hope of possession. And now they were hers, but the tresses that should have adorned the coveted adornments were gone. When she unwrapped the package, she saw that the gift was, the gift which was brought by Jim was, it was the set of combs. Those set of combs she wanted to have, she wanted to possess it long back before. And she was having a dream of those beautiful combs. Means she wanted to have those combs. And her dream had come true. Those beautiful combs were made up of tortoise shell, and it was decorated with the jeweled rims. So those combs were very expensive. And long back before she had dreamt, she had wanted to have those combs. Now she was having in front of her eyes. She was very happy to see those combs, and it was just like her dream had come true. But she hugged them to her bosom, and at length she was able to look up with dim eyes and a smile and say, "My hair grows so fast, Jim." Means here the combs, what she is expecting here, the combs would look beautiful if she had long hair, but her hair is short now. So she told it that her hair will grow fast. After her hair will grow long, she will put those combs in her hair. Means now the length is short, children, and after, when the hair will grow for a length, when the length of the hair grows, she will put those combs on her hair. Just as again she is convincing Jim. And then Della leaped up like a little singed cat and cried, "Oh, oh." Jim had not yet seen his beautiful present. She held it out to him eagerly upon her open palm. The dull, precious metal seemed to flash with a reflection of her bright and ardent spirit. "Isn't it a dandy, Jim? I hunted all over town to find it. You will have to look at the time of 100 times a day now. Give me your watch. I want to see how it looks on it." Then what the Della had brought, she removed her gift, and she held it in her palm, and she presented it to Jim. It was a chain, children. It was a watch. It was a chain which was brought to Jim's watch. So when he opened it, it was a chain, and here Della wanted to get opinion. He wanted to know the opinion of Jim on the gift which she has brought. So she asks Jim that is it a dandy, means is it beautiful or not? I have roamed in the market for a long many. I have searched in many of the stores. Then later I got this precious gift. She is explaining here. Instead of obeying, Jim tumbled down on the couch and put his hands under the back of his head and smiled. Dell, said he, let's put our Christmas presents away and keep them a while. They are too nice to use just as present. I sold the watch to get the money to buy your combs, and now suppose you put the chops on. See, Jim got little bit. Jim smiled at this stupidity. Means here, after seeing the chain which was brought by Della, he put his hand on his head and he smiled. Why? Because children, Jim had brought combs. But how he brought, he had sold his watch to get the money to buy the combs for Della. And now what Della had done, what Della did, she sold her hair and she brought the chain for Jim's watch. But Jim has sold the watch to get the combs for Della. So Jim lastly he says that let's forget about our presents and what we have lost, that is not important. Let's forget about the presents and let's celebrate the festival. Put on the chops on means let's make the dinner table ready, he says to Della. Means here what we come to know, children, the possessions, the materials and the presents are not important to express your attachment or express your affection towards each other. Here what Della sold, she sold her hair and afterwards she got the gift of combs. Here Jim sold his watch and afterwards he got the he got the chain as a gift. The material things are not important. The things, the care and affection and the respect you are having to each other is more important. We cannot measure through the gift, children, what attachment and care and respect we are having towards others. That's what the lesson ends by this conclusion. The Magi, as you know, were wise men, wonderfully wise men who brought gifts to the babe in the manger. They invented the art of giving Christmas presents. Being wise, their gifts were no doubt wise ones, possibly bearing the privilege of exchange in case of duplication. And here I have lamely related to you the uneventful chronicle of two foolish children in a flat who most unwisely sacrificed for each other the greatest treasures of their house. But in the last word to the wise of these days, let it be said that of all who give gifts to these two were the wisest. Of all who give and receive gifts such as they are wisest, everywhere they are wisest, they are the Magi. So here Jim and Della are compared with the Magi children. The Magi were wise men. And here the Magi who had brought the gifts to the babe in the manger, to the baby, who means to Jesus Christ. The baby was kept in the manger in a box. They had invented the art of giving the Christmas presents, now which is followed by everyone. Here even Jim and Della, they proved it that they are wise men. Yes, of course, in the last line we can see of all who give and receive gifts such as they are wisest, means they who give and receive gifts, they are referred as wisest. Everywhere they are wisest, it is said, and they are not less than Magi. That's all, children. Here I hope you have understood the lesson. If you have any doubt, you can ask me in WhatsApp group. I request you to read the lesson once. Meet you in the next session. Thank you.